Everyone always talks about how insane playoff hockey is. And basketball fans, they swear there's nothing like the NBA in the postseason.
Back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang!
But I've always wondered, what's it really like to be there, in person, in the crowd, when everything's on the line? To find out, I'm going to both an NBA and NHL playoff game to see which experience is better. Starting with the NBA. We're here for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals between the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. This is my first ever NBA playoff game. The atmosphere outside the stadium is already pretty crazy, which is important because I'll be rating both experiences off of 4 things: the fans and atmosphere, the ticket value, the food, and finally, the superfans experience. And speaking of superfans, this is Jake. He's a Celtics lifer and says the NBA playoffs are on another level. Why are the NBA playoffs so good?
What I can tell you guys from my point of view, when you're going in the Garden, you see all like the green and white, just kind of get that adrenaline rush. There's no better feeling.
Now, after hearing this from Jake, I wanted to see if other NBA fans were on the same page.
Basketball is more excitement. It's electric.
The energy is really great, and like I know I just really enjoy watching it.
We know we're gonna win this season, and it's better.
So I get to say every other team in the NBA and right Boston.
Seeing that most NBA fans were on the same page, it was now finally time to head inside and experience this for ourselves. And let's just say this place was packed and ready for tip-off. As the game got underway, Jake and I sat back in our seats way at the top of the stadium, which for a playoff game were actually priced pretty reasonably.
Our seats are actually pretty good. There's nobody in front of us, which is a huge bonus.
Another positive was our seats came with a rally towel, and even though they were plastic seats, they were actually pretty comfortable.
For the value of the ticket, these seats are actually really good.
With all things considered, I had to give the ticket value a solid 7 out of 10. As the first quarter came to a close, Jake and I decided it was a good time to go check out the food at an NBA playoff game. So we headed over to Sal's Pizza and Lucky's Chicken to grab some classic stadium food.
We got the Sal's Pizza. I've heard really good things about this, so we're gonna find out if it's actually good. Look how big this slice of pizza is, bro. It's like bigger than my head. It's stadium food pizza. I'd probably give the pizza maybe a 6 out of 10.
It's actually really good. We're gonna try chicken tenders next.
We're giving them bonus points here for the box, dude. Look at the box. I'm actually gonna give it like an 8.
Really crispy. If you like crispy chicken tenders, this is for you.
Overall, this is pretty good for arena food. You get a lot for the chicken tenders and fries. Both of them were kind of expensive. This was like $14 for this slice of pizza. I mean, I could go down the street. I could get a pie for $14, but we're in the arena, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
At almost every sports stadium, the food is gonna be expensive. And overall, the food wasn't bad. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7.5. Once we were done reviewing, Jake and I finished up eating and caught the end of the first half, where the Celtics led by 3.
That's the end of the first half, fans.
During halftime, they had this pretty sick show, with this dog making these unreal frisbee catches. Just look how high he was jumping. With the halftime show ending and the third quarter about to start, I was hopeful for the atmosphere to pick up a bit.
I think it's gonna be a good second half. It's a close game. We're gonna see how the atmosphere gets. I wouldn't rate it as high right now. There's been a few moments where it's been super crazy, but overall, more needs to happen for this atmosphere to be better.
And as the third quarter got underway, that's exactly what happened. The fans were starting chants and really starting to get into the game.
Defense! Oh, okay, Jalen!
And a takeaway by Brown. Race to the rim, and Brown.
With the crowd absolutely buzzing, the whole third quarter continued to stay electric. Once the third quarter ended, the atmosphere settled down a bit, as the Celtics were up by double digits. But throughout the fourth quarter, the crowd was on edge. The Magic were hanging in there, and you could feel the nervous energy among the fans.
Everyone is like really tense. Everyone's stressed.
But as the Celtics started to pull away, the atmosphere did shift. While the crowd was good, it wasn't quite the electric vibe I expected for the end of a playoff game. But with that said, the Celtics did pull off the win. And before I gave my rating on the fans and atmosphere, I wanted to see the vibes outside the stadium after a playoff win. And as we made our way around the arena, more and more fans were getting hyped.
Definitely gets points for the vibes being high at the end of the game.
After After seeing this energy outside the stadium, I'm gonna give the fans and atmosphere a 6.5, leading us to our final rating.
Jake, based off of the food, the atmosphere and the fans, and our ticket value where we sat, what would you rate our experience tonight at the Celtics game?
I'd go 7 out of 10.
Giving the NBA Playoff Experience a final score of 28 out of 40. Now let's switch gears and see how the NHL Playoff Experience compares.
Welcome to Montreal, home of one of the craziest playoff atmospheres in all of hockey. The streets are absolutely bumping here. We're here to see the hometown Montreal Canadiens take on the Washington Capitals for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. This place is bumping. This place is crazy. The Celtics atmosphere doesn't even compare to this place, honestly, right now. But just like the NBA game, I'm not doing this one alone.
This is my dad. He's not a Canadiens fan, but he's been obsessed with playoff hockey his whole life. He's here because he just loves the game, and he's going to help me break down the experience tonight. Just like the NBA, before I headed inside, I wanted to talk to some NHL fans to hear why they think playoff hockey is better than the NBA.
The passion, the energy, the history, every different team wins it every year. It's just incredible.
Like the passion of hockey and everything. I like basketball, but NHL is just different.
NBA is always stopped. You have to wait 30 minutes for the last 2 minutes of the game. NHL playoffs, much more physicality, much more craziness. Oh, keep playoffs all day. NBA?
The NBA song.
NHL, not even close. Look at this place.
He was right. This place was packed. I actually couldn't believe how many people there were.
This atmosphere, I think, is going to be unreal. The outside's crazy. I think inside's going to be even crazier.
And boy, was I right. We got to our seats, and I was literally getting chills. You could feel the energy. And the fans just wouldn't stop. This energy continued throughout the entire pregame. As the game got underway, I was curious to see if the atmosphere would stay this electric. But before we find out, let's take a look at the ticket value. Now, our seats had a great view of the ice, and they came with rally towels, which fans actually used. They were cushioned, which was a step up from the plastic seats at the NBA game, but the downside, these tickets weren't cheap, costing over $300 per ticket. With the price being significantly higher, I'm gonna have to give the ticket value a 6.5. Following the first period, my dad and I headed down to the concourse to test out the food, picking up some pizza and a Canadian classic, poutine.
Food review time. We're here at the Bell Center. We gotta test the pizza compared to TD Garden. And since we're in Canada, we gotta get the poutine. Poutine's elite, guys. If you don't know what this is, it's like gravies, fries, cheese curd. This is fire. We're gonna start with the pizza first. From the looks of it, looks like stadium food. TD Garden low-key looks a little bit better because it was bigger. This is $10 for this little pizza here. Let's try it out. I'm gonna be honest, this pizza's a little dry. There's not much sauce in it. I think TD Garden was a little bit better on the pizza, but hopefully their poutine makes up for it.
I give it a 6.
I'm most excited about this. Canada is known for this poutine. Cheers to Canada. That's good. That makes up for the pizza.
But my dad, he thought otherwise.
Fries are good, the gravy's good, but no cheese. Where's all the cheese? You need more cheese. There's no cheese.
With my dad making a pretty good point, I had to give the food another 6.5, meaning that it was all going to come down to these final two ratings. After we were done eating, my dad and I headed back to our seats to watch the rest of the second period. The Capitals ended up scoring.
In the second effort, they score! Dylan Strome with the follow-up!
But shortly after, the Canadiens got on the board, bringing the crowd right back into the game.
I thought it was only going to be the beginning, but this crowd is relentless. This atmosphere is unreal, dude.
Not only was it electric inside the stadium, but outside the stadium, they legit had an entire watch party for this game. And with the Canadiens taking the lead just before the end of the second period,
Caulfield scores!
these fans were going absolutely ballistic. As the second period ended and energy was at an all-time high, nothing seemed like it could stop it. Or so I thought.
They score! On a bouncing puck out in front!
Capitals scored.
With the game tied 2-2, I thought the crowd would settle down a bit. But I was wrong. They got right back into it, and they were cheering their team on. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to be enough, though. The Capitals scored a late goal and sealed the victory with an empty net.
Buries it into the empty net.
Even though the Canadiens lost, I had to give the fans and atmosphere a 9. This place was unbelievable. And with only the super fans rating left, it all comes down to this. Based off of all three of those things, what would you give your entire experience at an NHL playoff game?
I would give it a solid 9.
Giving the NHL Playoff Experience a final score of 31 out of 40. Go to an NHL playoff game, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. YouTube thinks you like this video. Maybe go watch it or something.